When it comes to creating attraction through text, one of the most underestimated yet powerful tools is mystery. We live in a world where people are constantly oversharing. Every thought, every feeling, every detail of their day is thrown out there instantly. That's why when someone comes along who doesn't give it all away at once, it's magnetic. Mystery sparks curiosity, and curiosity is what pulls someone in and makes them crave more. If you hand everything to a man on a silver platter, there's no chase, no intrigue, nothing left for his imagination to play with. But when you hold just enough back, when you give him pieces instead of the whole puzzle, his mind can't help but lean in closer to try and figure you out. That's when the craving begins. Think about it like a movie trailer. The best trailers don't show you the entire film. They give you just enough of the story to get you excited, to make you wonder, to make you feel like you need to see the rest. Your texts can do exactly that. Instead of sending long, drawn-out explanations, you drop hints. You create little teasers that keep him hooked. Imagine texting something like, "You won't believe what just happened," and then leaving a pause before sharing. Or better yet, "Remind me to tell you about the thing I discovered today. You'll love it." Suddenly, you've planted a thought in his head, and he can't let it go until he knows what you mean. That anticipation makes him lean forward in his chair. It makes him check his phone again. It makes him want to keep the conversation going because there's something about you that he hasn't figured out yet. The key is not to confuse mystery with playing games. This isn't about being cold, distant, or deliberately confusing. It's about giving him a taste of your world without unloading the entire story in one go. When you send a text that has a layer of curiosity, you're letting him see that there's more to you beneath the surface. You're someone he can't just read once and think, "I've got her all figured out." You become someone who always has another layer, another story, another spark of interest waiting around the corner. That's what keeps desire alive. It's not just physical attraction, it's mental engagement. Let's say you're about to go out with friends. Instead of sending a flat, "I'm heading out tonight," try something like, "Tonight might just be one for the books." You're saying the same thing, but with mystery attached. Now his mind starts racing. What are you up to? Why might it be one for the books? Who are you with? What's going to happen? You didn't give him the answer, and that gap is where his attraction grows. The beauty of it is that you didn't have to oversell yourself. You didn't have to prove that you're interesting. You simply left enough space for his imagination to fill in the blanks. And people always project more powerfully than reality could ever provide. Even something as small as being selective with emojis can create intrigue. If you send a playful message with nothing but a wink or a smirk at the end, you've opened a door but haven't explained what's behind it. He's left wondering, was that playful? Was it flirty? Was it a challenge? That little bit of ambiguity is like oxygen to desire. Remember, attraction isn't about constant availability. It's about making someone feel they're on the edge of discovering something special. Mystery does that. It makes every conversation feel like there's more to come, like he hasn't quite unlocked all of you yet. And the more he feels that, the more he invests, the more he thinks about you when you're not around, and the more he craves the next message that might reveal just a little bit more. If mystery plants the seed of attraction, then playful teasing is the spark that brings it to life. There's something irresistible about light-hearted banter, because it creates energy between two people that feels alive, fun, and unpredictable. Attraction thrives on emotions, and humor is one of the strongest emotions you can stir in someone. When you send a text that makes him smile, laugh, or shake his head with that, "I can't believe she just said that," feeling, you've instantly separated yourself from the dull, routine messages he gets from everyone else. You've positioned yourself as the person who brings joy, and that is addictive. The beauty of teasing is that it keeps things light without ever crossing the line into negativity. It's not about mocking or belittling him. It's about playfully nudging him in a way that makes him feel seen while keeping the tone flirtatious. Imagine he tells you he's at the gym. Instead of replying with a generic nice, have a good workout, you could say, don't overdo it. I don't have time to nurse you back to health. Suddenly, you're not just acknowledging what he said. You're creating a little scenario where you're involved in his world, hinting at care while keeping the tone cheeky. That one line has humor, light flirtation, and connection all at once. The reason teasing works so well is because it shifts the dynamic. Instead of always being the one responding, you become the one leading the emotional tone of the conversation. Most people fall into the trap of sending safe, predictable texts, but when you dare to play, you stand out. A text like, "That's the second dad joke you've made this week. I think I need to start charging you a fee," is teasing, but it's also a compliment disguised in humor. You're acknowledging that you're paying attention, you've noticed his quirks, and you're enjoying them enough to turn them into a game. That subtle message makes him feel appreciated without you ever having to spell it out. Another powerful element of teasing is the way it builds tension. Flirtation isn't about throwing desire out in the open. It's about creating a push and pull that keeps both people leaning forward. When you tease him, you're gently pushing him back, but in a way that pulls him closer emotionally. Let's say he sends you a photo of his dinner. Instead of saying, "Looks good," try, "Whoa, are you auditioning for a cooking show or just trying to impress me?" It's playful, slightly challenging, and leaves him eager to prove himself more. He's no longer just showing you dinner, he's now engaged in a little game of winning your approval. What makes teasing irresistible is the balance it creates. You're not giving him constant validation, and you're not pulling away either. You're sitting in that sweet spot where he feels both accepted and challenged. That combination is intoxicating because it mirrors the early stages of chemistry when you're still discovering each other. Every playful text you send reminds him of that thrill. Of course, the key is moderation. Teasing works when it's sprinkled in, not when it becomes the entire conversation. If you're always pushing, it can feel dismissive. But if you mix your playful nudges with warmth and curiosity, it creates a layered dynamic. You might tease him in one message and then follow it up with a genuine question or a thoughtful observation. That balance keeps him guessing, keeps him engaged, and makes him feel like being around you is never boring. At the end of the day, people crave connection that feels alive. Playful teasing breathes life into your texts and makes every exchange feel like an experience rather than a routine. When he opens your message and finds himself smiling or laughing, he begins to associate you with that burst of energy. And that's when craving starts, not because of what you gave him, but because of how you made him feel. When you think about attraction, it's easy to imagine it as something purely physical, but the truth is what truly makes someone crave you is how you make them feel. And one of the most powerful ways to stir those feelings is through texts that trigger emotion. Most texts people send are flat. They're just statements, updates, or logistics. But when you learn to craft messages that bring emotion into play, you're no longer just a person on the other side of a phone screen. You become an experience he can't stop thinking about. A great way to do this is by painting pictures with your words. Instead of simply saying, "I miss you," imagine how much more powerful it feels to say, "I keep thinking about the way you made me laugh so hard last time we were together, and now I can't focus on anything else." One is bland, the other brings him right back into the moment with you. That's the key. You're not just communicating information, you're recreating feelings. And feelings are what make people crave more. Memory is another powerful trigger. We're wired to respond to nostalgia, to moments that remind us of a specific feeling we had. A well-placed text that recalls something you shared together can instantly light him up. Imagine sending, "Do you remember that song we heard in the car that day? It just came on and I instantly thought of you." That one message isn't just about a song. It pulls him right back into the exact energy of being with you, smiling, laughing, and sharing a moment. Suddenly, he doesn't just read your text, he relives it. And when you're able to make someone relive a positive emotion, you become associated with that feeling in his mind. Another layer to this is using your texts to create anticipation of an experience yet to come. Desire often lives in the space between now and what's about to happen. Sending a text like, "I just had a thought of what we could do next time we're together, you're going to love it," sets his imagination on fire. He starts playing scenarios in his head, wondering what you mean, what you have planned, and what's waiting for him. You've taken a simple moment of waiting for the next date and turned it into an exciting build-up. Anticipation is one of the strongest forms of desire because it forces the mind to lean forward, to want to close the gap between the present and the future. Don't underestimate the power of detail either. Small details make emotions vivid. For example, instead of saying, "I had a fun night," you could say, "I can't stop smiling about that ridiculous face you made when we were leaving." Suddenly, he's not just reminded of the night, he's reminded of a very specific, intimate moment that probably no one else gets to see. That intimacy of detail builds connection and makes him feel like you're both in on a secret world together. And sometimes, the most powerful emotional texts are the simplest ones, the ones that show genuine appreciation in a way that feels heartfelt. A message like, "I love how you always know how to calm me down without even trying," makes him feel valued in a way that goes beyond surface attraction. You're not just sparking desire, you're showing him he has a meaningful impact on you. That's addictive, because people crave to be significant to the ones they're drawn to. In the end, emotional triggers turn your texts from words into experiences. You're not just filling space in a conversation, you're lighting up his memory, his imagination, and his sense of connection with you. Every time he feels something because of your words, you become harder to forget, harder to ignore, and easier to crave. There's a beautiful truth about attraction that many people forget. Desire doesn't only come from mystery or playfulness, it also comes from feeling valued. Every person craves to feel special, admired, and desired. And when you know how to communicate that in a way that's subtle rather than overwhelming, you tap into something deep that makes him feel magnetically drawn to you. The trick is learning to validate him in a way that makes him feel powerful without giving away your own power in the process. That balance is what turns a simple compliment into something that sparks desire. Most people assume that validation has to be loud and obvious, endless compliments, constant reassurances, or messages that scream, "I like you." But that often has the opposite effect because too much validation can feel needy or like you're trying too hard. The real power lies in being selective. A well-placed compliment hidden inside an otherwise normal conversation has 10 times the effect of a dozen generic ones. It's not about showering him with praise. It's about letting him know in small doses that he has qualities you genuinely notice and admire. For example, imagine he tells you about a stressful situation at work. You could simply listen and nod, or you could send a text later that says, "I love how you handle things without losing your cool. It's kind of impressive." That one line validates his strength, his confidence, and his ability to stay grounded, and it makes him feel like he has something you admire that others may not even see. Suddenly, he's not just reading your words, he's internalizing how he looks through your eyes. That's powerful. Validation can also come through playful admiration. It doesn't always have to be serious or deep. It can be delivered with a light-hearted twist that keeps the tone flirty. Maybe he sends you a photo after a workout, and instead of the typical "looking good," you say, "Okay, now you're just showing off, aren't you?" You're complimenting him while keeping the energy cheeky, which makes the validation feel more natural. He knows you're impressed, but he also feels like he has to keep earning that reaction from you. That's the balance, admiration mixed with a touch of challenge. Another subtle way to validate him is by acknowledging effort. Effort is often overlooked, but when you highlight it, you make him feel seen in a way few others do. A text like, "I really appreciate how you always make time even when you're busy," it doesn't go unnoticed. Tells him he's valued not just for who he is, but for what he invests into you. That's not neediness, that's recognition. And recognition deepens desire because it reminds him that his actions matter. But here's the crucial part. Validation loses its magic if it becomes predictable. If every text you send is dripping with praise, the effect wears off. What makes subtle validation irresistible is the scarcity. You keep it special, you sprinkle it in when it's deserved, and you let him feel the contrast between moments when you tease, moments when you stir his emotions, and moments when you quietly let him know how much he means to you. It's that dance between distance and closeness that keeps him craving more. Attraction isn't just about the thrill of the chase, it's also about the comfort of being wanted. When he knows you see him, when he feels like the version of himself he shows you is admired, it builds a layer of intimacy that's far stronger than surface-level flirting. It creates the sense that with you, he's not just desirable physically, he's significant emotionally. And that combination is where true desire lives. One of the most overlooked parts of attraction is the balance between being available and giving space. Desire doesn't grow in constant closeness, it grows in the space between. If someone knows they can have your attention at any second, if every text they send is answered instantly with long paragraphs, there's no anticipation, no excitement, no sense of wondering when they'll hear from you again. But when you know how to show interest, while also holding back just enough, you create a rhythm that makes him feel both reassured and hungry for more. Think about it like music. Music isn't just made up of notes, it's also made up of pauses. Those silences between the beats are what create the rhythm that makes the song addictive. Your communication works the same way. The availability is the note, the space is the pause, and together they create the rhythm that keeps him hooked. If you're always available, the song becomes flat. If you're always distant, the song doesn't play at all. But when you mix the two, it creates a melody that he can't get out of his head. So how does this look in practice? Let's say he texts you something funny. You don't have to reply in the next 2 seconds. In fact, sometimes letting the message sit for a while before you respond adds weight to your reply. It shows that while you enjoy the interaction, your life doesn't revolve around it. That little bit of space signals that you're someone with your own world, your own priorities, and that makes your attention more valuable. When you finally do reply, it carries more impact because he knows he had to wait for it. The same principle applies to how much you reveal in each conversation. You don't need to pour your heart out in every exchange. Share enough to keep him engaged, but also leave things unsaid that he'll want to ask about later. That's where curiosity and space come together. A message like, "Today's been wild. I'll tell you about it when we talk," creates intrigue and ensures he'll be thinking about you until you share the story. You've made yourself present in his mind without being physically present. This balance also prevents the energy of the relationship from burning out too quickly. Many people go too hard too soon, non-stop texting, endless conversations, constant availability. And while it feels exciting in the beginning, it often fizzles out fast because there's no tension left. By giving space, you create a sense of pacing, which allows attraction to build steadily instead of peaking and collapsing. That pacing is what makes someone crave you not just for a few days, but for the long haul. Another part of this balance is learning to end a conversation while it's still good. Instead of waiting until the texts naturally fade into silence, be the one to step away first. Something as simple as, "I have to go, but this has been fun, talk soon," leaves him smiling and wanting more. You've closed the interaction on a high note, which makes him look forward to the next one. Ending things too late makes the energy drag. Ending them while it's exciting makes the energy build. And here's the beauty of it: space isn't coldness. You're not withdrawing or being distant to manipulate him. You're simply showing that you're a complete person with a full life. And that makes your time and attention feel like a gift instead of an expectation. That feeling of scarcity is what makes him value it more. He begins to think about when he'll hear from you next, what you might say, what he can send to spark your interest again. That wondering, that leaning in, is the essence of craving. The real secret is that desire isn't built in the moments of constant connection. It's built in the pauses where he feels your absence just enough to miss you. When he realizes that he enjoys you, but doesn't quite have enough of you, that's when the craving takes over. If there's one ingredient that can turn ordinary attraction into something magnetic, it's anticipation. Desire is not just about the moment you're together. It's about the moments leading up to it. The energy that builds when he's waiting, wondering, and imagining what's to come. When you learn to plant seeds of anticipation in your texts, you're not just creating a conversation. You're creating a future moment he can't stop thinking about. That's the art of keeping him hooked, even when you're not around. The reason anticipation works so powerfully is because our minds naturally fill in the blanks. When you hint at something exciting without fully explaining it, his imagination starts working overtime. He begins to picture scenarios, to wonder about what's next, to feel that restless urge of wanting the answer. And the truth is, imagination can often create even stronger emotions than reality, because he's projecting his own desires onto the space you've left open. A simple line like, "I can't wait for you to see what I have planned for next time," doesn't give away a single detail, yet it creates a storm of curiosity. Now he's thinking about you, about what you're planning, about the next time you'll be together. You've turned an ordinary text into a mental movie he can't stop replaying. This doesn't have to be about big gestures or elaborate plans. Anticipation can be built through the smallest hints. You might send, "I just thought of something that's going to make you laugh so hard when I tell you in person." That text is short, simple, but it plants a seed that grows until the next time you meet. He'll find himself wondering what it is, and that wonder becomes excitement. Attraction isn't only about what happens in the moment, it's about stretching that energy across time so that he feels connected to you even when you're not there. Anticipation also creates a sense of exclusivity. When you suggest that there's something special waiting just for him, it makes him feel chosen. A text like, "I saved a story for you. It wouldn't be the same telling anyone else," does more than create curiosity. It makes him feel like he has a unique place in your world, like he gets access to a version of you no one else does. That exclusivity is intoxicating because it gives him the sense that he's part of a private connection. Another layer of anticipation is playfulness. Sometimes it's not about the words you say, but the tone you leave them with. A message that ends with, "But you'll just have to wait and see," adds a spark of flirtation that lingers in his mind. That playful delay is powerful because it stretches the desire, making him lean forward, wanting to close the gap faster. Even the way you close conversations can build anticipation. Instead of ending with something flat like, "Good night," you could say, "Sleep well. I'll tell you what I was thinking about tomorrow." You've ended the exchange, but you've also opened a door to the next one. That's how you keep momentum alive. Each conversation doesn't exist on its own. It becomes part of a chain where every text points to the next, creating a rhythm that keeps him hooked. What makes anticipation so irresistible is that it makes desire grow in the between moments. It turns waiting into excitement instead of boredom. It makes him check his phone It makes him think about what you might say next. It makes him look forward to the next time he sees your name light up his screen. And the more he anticipates you, the more he craves you. Because at the heart of attraction is not just the present, it's the future he imagines with you. When you send texts that create anticipation, you're not only sparking desire in the moment, you're building a story that pulls him forward, a story he can't wait to keep writing with you.